That's how every intro goes. What's up, everybody? I am your host, Kale. This is Sam, my co-host. Sam, how we doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm glad to hear that, brother. Today we'll be doing the NFL draft. I kind of realized that, shockingly, we haven't had a chance to do it yet.
Yeah, it's coming up here pretty fast. They've gotten through the combine, and yeah, NFL really never ends, man. The season's not going on. They're not playing games, but there's always something going on, whether it's the combine, the draft, free agency, all that stuff. So,
how was your week?
My week was good.
Nice.
No complaints. Good week. Last weekend in Omaha, when I went to the strength coaches clinic, was a very good experience. Shook Coach Campbell's hand. Wish I could have got a picture, but maybe another day.
Yeah, when you Snapchatted me right away, I just thought I'd give you shit. Like, oh, fanboy over here.
Dude, it was like right away. Right away. Like right when I got there, they hand you like your bag and whatever.
What'd you get in the
bag? Well, actually the bag was the second day, but the first day you get like your name badge, and then it was at Smash Park in Omaha. So we got a couple drink tickets too.
Gotcha.
But my bag I got the second day, a bunch of goodies. I got a t-shirt, like a Nebraska Strength Coaches Organization t-shirt. I got a new like shaker bottle, as if I don't already have enough of those. Bunch of other stuff. Those are the two big things that I remember getting. A wristband. Yeah. It was a good experience. I got what I wanted out of it, and yeah, definitely opened my eyes to some new training modalities when it comes to training athletes, and then just career-wise different things as well. So,
well, hell
yeah, man.
That's awesome to hear.
It was good. Yeah, and then I, related to competing, I had my mock meet session at Iron Heaven Gym, getting ready for Minnesota, and that went well. Hit a PRs on both squat and bench. So things are looking good for that as well. So yeah, that's
speaking of Minnesota. I know a few episodes back we did announce that we are going to be in the Minneapolis area.
Elk River. Yep.
Around end of March-ish.
End of April.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's already pretty much end of March-ish.
Yeah, honestly, like lately, life just seems like everything just going by quick. It's
going by pretty fast, definitely.
It needs to slow the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't getting any younger. I'm kind of slowly creeping up to 27 this year. So I know some people are like, well, you're only 27.
Dude, I turned 29 this year, and I feel great. I feel like I'm in my prime.
I feel like this last 2 years, I feel like I've actually, accomplished a lot that I've wanted to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yay.
Anyway.
No, it is good though. Yeah.
My week, last Sunday we got my pit boss put together finally. Got to use that for the first time, and today I made pulled pork.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, first time doing it. I thought, dude, the whole day I was nervous. I'm like, man.
It was sweating bullets.
I was like, what if I didn't do it right? Turns out the one from thermometer I was using actually, I think it was just a piece of shit.
Really?
And then about the end of it, about to come off, the last few minutes come off. I'm like, you know what? Let me just let me get my Traeger thermometer I've had for a couple years.
Yeah.
Boy, did I tell you what, my face changed so quick. Just saying, okay, the thermometer is the piece of shit. Like the one they gave you for this pit boss itself, it wasn't bad. But then when you use another one, you're always gonna have more than one, just in case.
Yeah.
Internal temp was the temp I was looking for. I'm like, wow, this other one is way off. I don't know what it was smoking before I used it, no pun intended. But hey, I got the job done. You liked it. Maya liked it.
Yeah.
My dad liked it when he came up here. Which, by the way, out of nowhere, my vinyl siding on my house decided to blow away. But hey, I think we're believing is the people that used to live here before, they kind of made this house a kind of handyman special, it seemed like.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I've always mentioned, I found things here and there.
Yeah.
Even my dad said it looked like they had like these little screw, like too small of a screw to go in there.
Yeah.
Connect from the board to the stud itself and whatever. It was kind of funny. I just pulled the meat off the pit boss.
Mm-hmm.
Maya and I are just standing there. She's cooking the mac and cheese. I'm ready to finally get to eat. And I heard, I'm like, what in the hell was that? I look out the window. I couldn't find anything.
That's crazy.
Maya's like, all right, here, you do the mac and cheese. I'll go look outside. And I didn't hear it first. She said, so fell off. I'm like, what?
It fell off.
My selective hearing or just terrible hearing. I go out there and look. I'm like, oh, I guess my siding wanted to take a nap.
Yeah.
So
wanted to run away.
Yep. Other than that, the pulled pork was pretty good. We also did hit 1,000 recently on downloads of audio. That's great. Yeah, that's good old POB. Yeah. Good job. No, I mean, yeah. Nothing much else.
I just remember going to Menards when you bought that pit boss, and me and Antoine were just clowning the whole time, calling Kale the owner of Menards, the CEO.
Yeah, it was starting to piss me off and annoy me.
It was so funny. You knew it was funny too.
No.
It was hilarious.
At first, yeah, but when I kind of get like
and Antoine even
minutes,
said he was, and Antoine talked to him earlier this week. He said he was like, yeah, he could tell you were getting like a little sensitive about it and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, it's funny at first, but then it kind of gets annoying.
He was like, he's getting kind of sensitive about it. So I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it kind of was getting embarrassing doing it around people, and they're like,
no one even cared.
You don't know that.
It was funny. Even the Menards worker was like laughing about it. Remember?
No. I'm never taking you guys to Menards again.
Oh yeah, right.
You, but not both of you.
When you need help lifting something heavy, I'm usually the first person you call.
Sorry.
I'm just saying it. A lot of stuff from Menards that you get is pretty heavy.
Fuck you.
Anyway, there's this movie Maya was watching.
Oh yeah, before we started recording. Oh man, we were annoying.
Me and you were annoying her.
Yeah.
Like me and Antoine were annoying you. I think there's a common denominator there. I think I'm the annoying one.
No, I think it's more that you're the one that likes to start it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I'm the clown. That's all right. That's all right. I claim it. Makes people laugh, makes people smile.
Hey, if you don't find enjoyment in your life, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's my job. That's my job.
Oh, man. We went to Walmart before we started recording, too, and there was... You know how Walmart is at night in Norfolk, Nebraska. Yeah, every high schooler has to come there because why? Why not?
It's the spot for high schoolers on a weekend, Saturday night.
Like I told you when we got in the truck, and it's like, oh, man, it makes you think. That was yes at one point.
Yeah. Kyle, they tagged you.
Yeah, they must have been
Sorry,
playing cat
Kyle,
mouse,
if you're out
or
there.
whatever.
Some guy named Kyle, some kid.
Or Chris.
Or it was Chris? I don't remember.
And then some lady was driving on the wrong side of the road, and the police pulled her over.
Yep. He was a sheriff.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ahead and get into...
We're doing the draft.
Yes, we're doing that.
Big deal. NFL draft, the TNT Boys. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to start 1 through 10.
Yeah, we'll go 1 through 10, and then we'll see. We'll decide there if we want to keep going or wrap it up at 10.
Number 1 pick will be the Titans this year. Who do you got?
Titans. They're in the market for a quarterback. One Will Levis seems to not be the guy. It doesn't really look like Aaron Rodgers is going to be going there.
I don't think that'd been a good fit anyway.
No. I mean, again, if Rodgers is going to go anywhere, he should go to a contender. Tennessee's not really a contender. Minnesota's out on him. Giants aren't a contender. Pittsburgh would be the only team. I don't know, but enough on him. Titans, I would probably have them getting, obviously, a quarterback, either Cam Ward from Miami or possibly Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, but I would probably lean more towards Cam Ward.
I feel
from
like
Miami, just because I feel like he is the just not just the safer option, but just overall just a little bit better, a little less drama maybe surrounding him than with Shedeur. I don't know. I'll go with Cam Ward from Miami.
Oh, before we go any further, don't forget this year's location will be at Green Bay.
That's right, yeah.
And I think our fellow TNT boy, honorary TNT boy, NFL expert is going to be going, I believe, with his brother.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun to go to.
I would like to go back to Green Bay.
Is that the same weekend as when we go to Minnesota? Yeah.
Yeah, the draft will be the day that we leave.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yep. Oh, I was going to tell you, if you want me to drive part of that, I will. I mean,
yeah, maybe. We'll
switch.
See. Yeah.
You know?
We'll see.
Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go with Cam Ward as well. I mean, I think he's all-around great quarterback. He was great at Washington State and then transferred over to Miami, played and balled last year's game against Cal. That was a great game. Shout out to Frosh. I know you love Miami.
He was a Heisman contender at one point last year.
Yeah.
Or he was down to the end, yeah.
I think, I think he's kind of underrated, but I also think he's very selfish.
I'd say he was probably the best quarterback in the nation last year.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of that off Blue Mountain State, the quarterback that transferred in. I think he was all shit and then got hurt.
Yep.
That's how I see him. I think he'd be a great player. So I'm going number 1, Cam Ward from Miami. The U.
Cam Ward going to be the next Cam Newton. We'll see.
And I do agree. I don't think Tennessee's going to get Rodgers. I think they probably look at it. They want a long-term quarterback.
They want they're in rebuilding mode, and you don't rebuild with a 42-year-old quarterback.
And don't forget, Deion Sanders has a say where his son gets to go.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's pulling a Eli Manning.
Well, yeah, that's what Eli did. That's what they were saying Caleb was going to do. But John Elway did that too, though.
You did?
Well, yeah, John Elway, back in the 83 draft, he got drafted by Baltimore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Baltimore Colts. And he never played for them. He ended up going to Denver, obviously.
Which it turned out long-term great.
Right.
One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah. Top 10 for sure.
All right, moving on to number 2 is the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to go ahead and pick it here. I think Sanders is going to go there.
They're definitely in the market for a quarterback as well.
They obviously tanked.
Defensively, they're pretty solid. And then on the offensive side, like they don't necessarily lack a whole lot. Like they could maybe use a little bit of help at receiver but quarterback's what you want to go with. And Deshaun Watson, obviously that whole situation has been a flop. They did trade for Kenny Pickett this offseason. But that being
it was funny, they traded their shitty quarterback for another shitty quarterback.
Well, they didn't trade Deshaun.
I thought they did.
No. Deshaun is still on Cleveland.
Oh no, Dorian Thompson they traded. Dorian
Thompson-Robinson.
Yep.
Yeah. They traded him, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Shedeur Sanders as well. I think he's kind of a similar style quarterback to.
Do you see maybe Giants somehow pushing for a trade somehow to get that number 2?
They definitely could.
But who?
I guess we're not. I didn't know if we were taking into account trades right now, but if it was
it's just
the
a thought
Browns,
that just came to my head.
Oh, for sure.
What I will say though is I'm gonna go with Shador too. Obviously,
Yeah.
I hate to say this about the kid, because of the last name a little bit, and I don't. Hey, I'm gonna go on record and say I like Dion as a coach.
Right.
Just sometimes, it's just like some people say with Donald Trump. His mouth is what gets him in trouble.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go further than that. We're dropping that out there.
Dion, the coach, he's a good coach. Like Colorado was good this past year. Like I find it insane how we beat them as bad as we did.
We stomped the shit out
and
of
then like just barely finishing 6-6.
But
to finish out the regular
Shador
season.
has really good high football IQ.
Yeah.
He has some great leadership skills and also has a stellar arm and he's good enough for him.
He needs to use his legs more.
Yes.
Like he doesn't use his legs enough, and he's got to be at least somewhat mobile. Your brother's a DB. Your dad is Deion Sanders. Dude, I know you can run. Utilize that more.
Yeah.
Like he'd be so much better if he utilized his legs more was more of a runner. And he might, despite what Deshaun Watson has been through, if he stays on Cleveland this season, Shador could maybe learn a thing or two from Deshaun Watson, maybe.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Number 3 would be New York Giants. I really do think they're gonna go out after a dual Carter.
Outside linebacker from Penn State.
Yeah. I think that dude's a pretty good player. So I mean, if they don't do good this year, I think they're gonna try to tank for Arch next year.
Yeah.
If they don't trade or anything, they don't. You know what I mean? Like they'll figure out a way.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of a team that needs a quarterback too, though. And
Yeah.
it's just like
They need the best available player.
outside of Cam and Shador, there's really no quarterbacks in this draft that really wow you. They really like pop off the board at you. And there's been talks about Rodgers going there, but again, they're rebuilding. You don't rebuild with a 40-year-old quarterback, and I don't know why a 40-year-old quarterback would want to go to a rebuilding team.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
outside of that, yeah, you're right. They need the best available player because they really don't have any strength. So I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter, the linebacker out of Penn State for the Giants.
All right, now we got the next pick is the Patriots. I think what they really been needing is offensive line, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They have the quarterback.
Well, yeah, they have their quarterback of the future in Drake May. They've made that
now
clear.
they got to build around the quarterback, right?
Right.
So
they don't really have like any brand like any really great wide receivers though.
No, but I mean,
they do have a good running back in Stevenson.
You got to look at what they did in the free agency too. They didn't really sign much. They only added a 34-year-old Morgan Moses.
Right.
So I think they're going to pick up an offensive tackle, and I think they're going to go with the one from Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri.
They do. They need to protect their young quarterback. He's a good athletic quarterback, Drake May.
I think they're going to pick up Miambo from Missouri.
I think that's probably the right choice too. They need to address the O-line and keep their quarterback safe.
Next pick is Jacksonville at number 5. This is where I'm going to start to. I think I'm going to switch this up. I think they're going to pick up. I mean, you got to think here. Travis Hunter's still on the board.
Right. I would almost think maybe Travis Hunter to the Patriots now that I think about it.
I was kind of going to go with that, but I feel like offensive line would be better for the Patriots, personally.
But at the same time, it's like, is Travis Hunter going to be able to continue playing both ways in the NFL? And if he doesn't, does he lean more defense than offense? Part of me thinks he does.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks Travis Hunter leans more defense with the occasional offensive spell, kind of like Dion did back in his playing days. Like, Dion was a DB. He returned kicks, punts, and occasionally played some offense. And I feel like that's probably the route Travis Hunter will go. I don't know if that's the pick the Jaguars go with. I don't know. They have a good number one wide receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. from last year. He was a rookie. Yeah.
Travis Hunter, though, Jacksonville could take whatever they can get, right?
Go up a little bit. More. Go back down to Carolina. Up a little bit. I want to see who they got, or they got them going. Okay. Up. Yeah, that's tricky, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Travis Hunter to Jaguars. I feel like they could just whoever they can get at this point because I mean they threw away most of their team in the offseason.
They did.
They're trying to,
Travis Hunter can add some spark to their team when they've. I mean, they got rid of Christian Kirk. They got rid of Evan Ingram.
Shit, I thought they were gonna get rid of Trevor Lawrence at that point.
Yeah.
But I guess they still are going with Lawrence and trying to, build something.
Yeah, I guess Travis Hunter. Yeah. I mean, he just adds, he had some versatility and just some spark to their team as a whole. So, yeah, why not?
All right, number
Was
six.
that the fifth? Was that the fifth one?
Yep.
Jaguars?
Number
Okay.
6 would be the Raiders.
Raiders.
Another team that needs anybody they can get.
That's another team that could use like a Travis Hunter.
I was kind of, in my head, I was kind of going back and forth between the two teams.
Raiders need a receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Brock Bowers at tight end.
Yeah.
And he broke the record for rookie receiving yards for a tight end last season. But they traded Devontae Adams last year, which makes Jacoby Myers their number one wideout. And Jacoby Myers isn't bad, but he's not a number one. And I just, this draft class just doesn't seem very wide receiver heavy outside of Travis Hunter.
First round, no.
Outside of Travis Hunter, who's really, in my opinion, going to be more of a DB than a wideout. Do they address offense right away? I don't know. They brought in Geno Smith now to play quarterback. And running back situation is a little iffy there. I think Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan.
Yeah.
I think defense. I think they address the defense. And Pete Carroll, he's kind of that guy. He wants to build a strong defense.
You think about it too. So, wow, I'm very yawning tonight.
Tired?
No.
No.
So they just got Chip Kelly from as offense coordinator.
Right.
You think they go after Gentry. But
they could use some running back help for sure.
But it would make more sense to draft a running back in the second round.
Not always. I mean,
for them, maybe.
Because who do they? Last season, they kind of rotated some guys. Obviously, they started with Zamir White. They had Alexander Madison for a lot of the year.
Yep.
And then they finished the year. They had some guy. It was Sincere McCormick, I think his name was.
Sincere.
Taking some snaps.
My
from them
dear
at
mother,
back.
I sincere.
I'm sincerely playing running back in the NFL for the Waiters. And yeah, I don't know, man. They got a bunch of kind of, who's that guy at running back right now?
Right.
You know.
I will say, though, going back to what you said about this draft class, it seems like this draft class is, again, not very wide receiver friendly.
No.
But you're probably going to see a lot of defensive players, offensive linemen, and that's about it. Here, running back.
It's one of those drafts that's very, like you said, defense and offensive line heavy.
Yep.
Not a lot of quarterback talent, not a lot of wide receiver talent, running back, like offensive skill positions aren't. They're at a premium in this one. We'll just say that.
I'm gonna go with Will Johnson. Number 7. Jets. JETSSS. Jets.
They kind of,
they need a quarterback.
They brought in Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's right.
They did bring in Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Who could maybe do something for them.
He's going to prove the Chicago Bears stereotype.
And, it's funny because, it's not like they lack weapons.
No.
They got Garrett Wilson.
It's their defense that's going to struggle because they don't. They need
got Breece Hall. They need offensive line.
They need defensive too. They're trying to replace John Franklin Myers.
They don't really need Ashton Ginty, because they have 2 good running backs, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen.
Which
they have.
Hall's come back from injury, I think.
Yeah, he is. Well, he was coming back from injury the prior season. I don't know. But Braylon Allen and Breece Hall, both very capable running backs. Garrett Wilson is a stud wide receiver. I'm still just very confused on how him and Rodgers couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
Because Garrett Wilson was out there winning Rookie of the Year and making it work with Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Mike White at quarterback. And you get 4-time MVP and you can't even crack 1,000 yards on the year, barely.
It could have been a Rodgers thing. It could just been how Rodgers was.
It could have been. It's just crazy, though. You have one of the best all-time quarterbacks and one of the best talented young receivers in the league, and you can't develop that chemistry. What's going on?
It could be coaching, too.
Could be. That said, the Jets, I'm going to have them going with Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mason Graham, too. I think, like I said, they got to replace John Franklin Myers, right? And they also need a better player to, start next to Quinn Williams.
He's a stud.
But he also did sorely miss last year, too, so.
Yeah.
Mason Graham be a good fit for them on defense. Another defensive player in the draft getting in there. And number 8, we got the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers. So the Panthers, honestly, they're kind of in a weird spot.
Yeah,
I think.
Offensively, they're a team that could maybe use a wide receiver.
Yes.
Adam Thielen's still there.
He's getting
old. They have Xavier Leggett, who's a good young explosive receiver. They don't really need a running back because Chuba Hubbard has kind of proven to be the guy there. Plus, they have Jonathan Brooks coming back.
Yep.
And Bryce Young played strong late last year. I thought Bryce Young was trash.
He had a bad start.
He got benched for Andy Dalton, and then he ended up coming back in the starting lineup.
Because Andy Bolton.
He played better down the stretch.
He did.
And they did re-sign Andy Dalton to be the backup in Carolina.
Good. I think he's trying to be the mentor of Bryce. We could be wrong, though. We don't know. We're not behind the scenes, so you know what I mean? So
I think he's probably embracing that role a little bit.
Yep.
I think he understands his days as a franchise quarterback starting are behind him.
Yep.
So he's helping out the next generation. And so that's awesome. But
defense, they also need help on defense.
They do.
They let up a lot of points.
They definitely need a stud pass rusher to replace Brian Burns. So I would definitely say the D end out of Georgia, Williams,
Michael Williams
definitely would be the best option for them at the number 8 spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Bryce Young, he really improved late last year. He was a late bloom.
For sure.
A
lot better than he looked his rookie year.
The Panthers are probably get, the Panthers will give him another year. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, I mean, they could use this pick to replace Brian Burns or maybe beef up that interior of their defensive line.
Well, you got to think about it. It's not like the Panthers play in a super tough division.
Yep.
Like, Buccaneers have kind of dominated that division since 2020. But, like, the last couple of years, they're barely winning the division and squeaking into the playoffs.
Yep.
So I definitely could. Panthers could make a run for it, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Michael Williams.
Yep.
Out of Georgia. Number 9, New Orleans Saints. I'm going to straight up say it. Offensive line. Offensive line last year was just dog shit for them. Terrible.
Look at all the injuries they had, just offensive skill-wise.
Yep.
Derek Carr was out for a lot of the year.
Yep.
Alvin Kamara was in and out. Taysom Hill in and out.
I think they got rid of
receiver. It was crazy.
I think they released Hill.
I think they did.
Yeah.
But Chris Olave, their top 2 receivers, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Both had season-ending injuries, which that doesn't really. Wide receiver injuries aren't really the O-line's fault.
Yeah.
But they had a lot in the backfield, too, and at quarterback. So I'd have to agree. Offensive line, they don't really need. I mean, it'll see what they end up doing with Alvin Kamara. I heard they released Jamal Williams.
Pretty good, yeah.
But I don't know if Ashton G&T is the best option for them. So I would definitely say O-line, you go to Will Campbell from LSU, the offensive tackle.
He's a nasty blocker.
Stays within the state. Goes from LSU to New Orleans and, helps to bolster that Saints O-line and protect whoever they have at quarterback back there.
All right, moving on. Number 10, the Bears. Personally, they don't need, I don't know. I mean,
their offensive line was their biggest weakness last year. But they have addressed it this offseason pretty well so far. They still have some work to do, but that's really what's going to help develop Caleb Williams. I feel like they could use a running back. Swift wasn't great last year for them.
Swift is kind of, he was great in Detroit, then got traded to Philly, and now it just
seems
like his career.
A decent year in Philly.
Seems like his career went from like here to like kind of like slowly going here.
His 1 year in Philly, he had 1,000 rushing yards,
and he always did great in Detroit. I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was paired with Jamal Williams.
Yep.
Now it's Gibbs and Montgomery for you guys, but I don't know. I would say defensive line is a bit of a weakness for them. I would say probably Kenneth Grant from Michigan would be a good pick. D tackle, interior, defensive line.
You gotta say it like John Gruden. Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Very nicey.
He's a Gruden grinder.
Shout out to John Gruden, dude. Let's take a second here for just a second. We're on 10, and we'll
decide.
I love John Gruden on Barstool. I feel like we're seeing a different side of John Gruden.
I've always liked John Gruden.
I did too.
He was a good coach, honestly. Underrated.
He's just an all-around sports guy.
He is. He's a football guy.
He's a football guy.
Big football guy.
Big football guy. I love watching his TikToks all the time. And him being a part of Barstool and him announcing and stuff. They did a combine and it was pretty cool. Kenneth Grant, number 10. Fully agree. I wish they would have do a little bit more on the offensive line, but hey, I'm not a fan of their GM. I think their GM's going to fuck it up somehow.
Probably.
More likely. Anyway, Sam, we continuing or not? I'm down to go on.
We can keep going.
Okay. Number 11, the 49ers, the Gold Diggers. Oh, yeah. We're sharing a screen. I forgot to scroll them down. All right.
49ers.
I think this is something that has been needed to be addressed the last kind of 2 years. I mean, Trent Williams, he finally retired this past season.
That's true.
He was a great player. Hell of a fucking player.
Yeah.
They need a tackle, and they've always needed a guard. So why not draft a lineman? Or, draft a lineman that can play both. So I think Calvin Banks will probably be the fit for that out of Texas. Texas!
Definitely add some versatility to that offensive line.
Yep. A good pass protector, too, and that's Calvin Banks.
They have traded Debo.
I still can't believe he went to the fucking...
I've heard Ayuk once out of there. And what if that happens?
I heard... I don't want to say this because the people are like, you did dumb. There's been talks that they've been talking about trading Purdy.
I've heard that too. Possibly to Tennessee. And if they trade Purdy to Tennessee, does Tennessee still draft Cam Ward?
Well, I think they would trade their draft pick for Purdy.
Yeah. Well, the Niners also signed Mac Jones, who Kyle Shanahan originally wanted to draft back in 2021, but they were like, no, Trey Lance.
Oh, I didn't know he got released.
Mac Jones is in San Fran now.
Really?
And there's talks he might actually take Purdy's job, potentially. I mean, they're similar style quarterbacks.
It's too early to tell that, though.
That's true.
We're not even in one preseason or, one training camp yet.
But I'm just thinking receiver could be a point of need for the Niners, especially they've already lost Debo. They might lose Ayuk. They still have Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. Yeah. But also, who knows if Christian McCaffrey is going to be healthy? They still have Jordan Mason.
They lost some good defensive players too. They lost Townsend.
Yeah.
Man, I wish the Lions would have signed Townsend.
That said, I still think replacing Trent Williams is the big need. So yeah, I would say Kelvin Banks, O-lineman from Texas, very versatile, tackle or guard.
Yeah. Anyway, next pick is the Dallas Cowgirls. Number
Dallas
12.
Cowboys for life.
Yuck. I can't believe how many Dallas Cowboy fans we have around here, and they're just so delusional. Again, shout out to Frosh. You bald-headed son of a bitch.
They have some weaknesses to address, but last year Rico Dowdle was their top running back, their lead horse in the backfield. It was Rico Dowdle, who no one has ever heard of, and a 90-year-old Ezekiel Elliott. And Dalvin Cook was there.
I'm calling it now. He'll retire within next year or the next 2 years.
And Dalvin Cook was also there for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So that said, I do think Dallas will be the landing spot for Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. He adds some versatility to their offense.
Did he win the Heisman? I can't remember.
Travis Hunter won.
That's right. Okay, never mind.
It was between the two of them. Yeah, I think Ashton should have won it though. He's a guy that runs. He's not the biggest running back, but he runs with a lot of physicality. He's very quick and explosive, and he'll add some spark to that Cowboys offense. He could probably flank out, play a little slot for them, help out CeeDee Lamb in the passing game a little bit. Should be a good grab for Dallas.
I'm gonna go with Jeanty, but I'm gonna kind of mark him as too early to call bust. Kinda.
You think he'll be a bust?
A little bit, because the way he stands up, I just don't think that's gonna work in NFL.
The stance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have changed that up a little bit.
I saw a video the other day, kind of made me think about it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but just some of the stuff he does is just basic, and it's gonna cause trouble.
He's gonna have to get out of his way because, college you dominated, you did did it how you want NFL.
I mean, he also did play in a certain conference that wasn't too hot.
Right.
You were saying?
I was just gonna say NFL. They're all freak athletes, so you're not gonna be able to do it that easily.
Number 13, Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, team I haven't really followed too closely.
I know they signed one of the Lions players. They signed Ifitu. I can't say his last name for the life of me. Melifonwu. Fonwu.
I know.
And Ashton Davis too.
Their running back. They did get rid of one of their running backs, Raheem Mostert.
Which is shocking.
Not kind of, but not too much, because Devon Achane kind of took over that backfield last season anyway. And I did see Mostert get signed somewhere. I can't remember where. But offensively, they're pretty set, man. Like, they have... obviously they have Tua at quarterback, who's been pretty productive for them.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of speed at receiver and at running back. And so I think defense is going to be where they might want to focus more, especially the secondary. The safety out of South Carolina, Nick Emma Mori.
Emma Mori.
Sorry
we butcher names. We're not great.
But I would say he would be a good fit for them.
I agree with him. Like the player out of South Carolina, he has a very rare cover skills for a safety, and he's also built like a linebacker. So he possesses, he possesses terrific instincts.
He's a great, I'd say he's a good hitter and tackler from the safety position, being built like a linebacker.
Yep. Anyway, we're going down to number 14, Indianapolis Colts. Oh, another team, knee lineman, O-line, Tyler Booker out of Alabama. It's kind of rare. It's kind of weird seeing a Alabama player fall this far.
Yeah, that is weird. The first Alabama player. But I would say I would agree outside of quarterback, but there just isn't a good one available. They're going to have a competition between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
Snooze fest.
Yeah, that's
snooze fest.
That's honestly two of the worst quarterbacks in the league, really. And whoever's, they're going to be going back and forth between both of them all season unless they find someone else. But yeah, they're going to need a guy to protect them, because or just blast holes open for the running game for Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, I do think Tyler Booker from Alabama is a good choice for them.
Tyler Booker, yes. They also got to replace. So they had to replace Will Fries. He went to Minnesota. Which, it puts a big hole on their giant, on their guard spot. So I think it's a good idea to get one of the top guard linemen in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not an elite athlete, though, but he has incredible length.
Yeah.
Number 15, the Falcons. I don't know. I don't think they're, bad. Bad. But their defense can really need some help on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So they had a very poor pass defense last year, and they had nothing at cornerback outside of AJ Terrell. They'll have to fix that with the free agency or this draft pick, which I don't think they did a whole lot in free agency.
Yeah.
They also could target their pass rush. Because of Matthew Judon was a big disappointment, and but if they get Shemar Stewart, personally out of defensive end out of Texas A&M, he's big, fast, strong, and he's very raw. So,
I would agree. Defense is the biggest need for Atlanta, because they have pieces on offense. They've got Bijan Robinson, they've got Drake London, they've got Kyle Pitts. and they've got a young quarterback in Michael Penix Jr.
Yep.
Who's it'll be his first full year as a starter. So I'd have to agree. I think Shamar Stewart, D-end out of Texas A&M, is going to be their best option to go with in the first round.
Yep. So we go over to another bird, the Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
I keep hearing they're talking about trading Kyler. So, I mean, they could probably use that as a leverage to get higher picks this year.
I have heard about the Kyler trade talks as well.
Him and his, he's going to have to pack up his Call of Duty himself and move, possibly.
Yep.
But if they're going to keep him, they're going to have to help him. So I think they're going to need some offensive line. They're going to need offensive tackle. They added, they would love to add Jonah Williams, right? Struggling.
Uh-huh.
But he's struggling with his health. However, the top tackles are off the board, so Arizona could trade down and acquire this player in the late 20s, and that player is Josh Simons from Ohio State. Or excuse me, the Ohio State.
Right.
I've been starting to say the in front of Ohio State. I feel like it's respectful.
We don't need to respect them.
Anyway, Josh is a pretty athletic left tackle with strength and but he is coming off of a torn patellar tendon.
Yeah, patellar tendon.
Yep.
I would agree. I've heard about the Kyler trade talks too. They've already got some good receivers, good running back in James Conner. Defensively, I think they were so last year, but yeah, I would agree with the Josh Simmons for sure.
Number 17, we have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Did they resign Trey Hendrickson, or did they let him walk? Because he was like the one.
I don't think they re-signed him yet.
He was the one bright spot in their defense last year.
Let me look it up because I'm curious.
Because they brought back T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Obviously, they're paying Joe Burrow a bunch of money. Their offense is set, obviously, but they need defense. Their O-line isn't great either.
Let's see here. Cold?
Bro's got it feeling like Antarctica in here. I
was sweaty when we started recording, okay?
Yeah, you were sweating.
I was.
I'm cold over here.
Yeah, I don't think they re-signed T. Higgins yet.
They did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They re-signed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Gotcha. Well, that being said, I do think they're going to upgrade their defense a little bit. Historically, lately, their defense has not been great, so I'm going to go with Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. Defensive tackle. They have a horrible defense, to be honest.
I was asking if they re-signed Trey Hendrickson, the pass rusher.
Oh, did they?
I don't know.
No, he's seeking a trade.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's seeking a trade. And they let him go out find a trade partner. And I heard Detroit's kind of
That's dumb.
Yeah.
But I would agree. Walter Nolan for sure.
But you know what though? I don't blame Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
So I mean, he could go to Commanders, go to Detroit.
Like I said,
he
led the league in sacks last year.
He's the best to ever do it without wearing gloves.
And he was the only bright spot on that Bengals defense last season. And they're probably going to lose him.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
So now we got number 18, the Seahawks. I think they're going to get a receiver because why they replaced DK Metcalf.
Well, they lost DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Yep, because Tyler retired.
But did Tyler retire?
No. They cut him. But
they cut him.
They do have Jackson Smith. I can't say the last name right.
They have Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they signed Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, an aging Cooper Kupp, though.
And they got Sam Darnold at quarterback now.
What what a way to change a team in one or two couple days.
You know what's funny is they got Sam Darnold, the starter, and I'm pretty sure they still have Sam Howell as the backup.
Huh.
So they got the two Sams
That's funny.
in the quarterback room in Seattle.
And you got a Sam talking about the two Sams.
That's right. You think they go with McMillan out of Arizona, the wide receiver?
Yeah. I think they're going to pick up a receiver. They don't need anything else now. I mean, they got Darnold.
They got a couple good running backs.
Yep.
Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I think they still have Noah Fant at tight end.
Omaha South alumni.
I would agree. Cooper Kupp is aging. And he's pretty good at running the slot. So you could bring in McMillan, and him and Jackson Smith and Jigba can run the outside hash marks to the sideline.
Number 19.
Sideline.
We got the Tampany.
The Tampany fucking knees.
Yeah. The Fuccaneers, yeah. I think they're going to go with a linebacker. And with that being said, I mean, they had troubles covering the middle of the field last season. And then, Levante David, who just resigned, he's aging. He's aging out of the NFL.
He's getting old. He's got to be one of the oldest linebackers in the league at this point.
Yeah. Oldest Husker, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you don't count Sue. I don't think he officially retired.
That's true. I haven't heard that he did.
But Jahad Campbell, I think he's going to be good out of Alabama. He has an impressive athletic. He's an impressive athlete for a larger linebacker.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, Alabama has in the past not been known for defense a lot in the Saban years, but now it seems like he's gotten better.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Number 20 would be the Broncos. The Broncos, I think they're building something special over there. I think Bo Nix needs another weapon, but I also think he needs another tight end.
Their starting tight end last year was Adam Troutman.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure who that is.
I don't either.
They have some decent wide receivers like Cortland Sutton, but who else behind him? Like they've got Troy Franklin. I can't remember some of the other guys, but tight end, is that the right move? I don't know. Tyler Warren out of
But if they
Penn
don't,
State.
they can still go get, Evan Ingram. Oh no, they did sign him. They did sign him. Denver did sign Evan Ingram.
They signed Evan Ingram?
Yes. So
I don't think they need another tight end if they signed Evan Ingram. They could maybe use another wide receiver. Their defense is already pretty solid. I think they could use a running back, personally.
I could see I think it's Cam Sutton playing both ways next year.
Because Javonte Williams is not great. And then they also have Jaleel McLaughlin. But scroll down a little bit, actually. I want to see something. Keep going. Interesting. Go back.
Anyway, Tyler Warren out of Penn State is who I'm picking.
I'll roll with that too.
Sure? You seem like you wanted to maybe do something else.
Yeah, I just don't really know what else would be good. I mean, I don't know if there's any other running backs in the first round worth taking other than Ashton Jeanty. And we already have him going off the board, so I'll roll with Tyler Warren.
Okay. Number 21 is the Steelers. I think they're going to pick up a defensive tackle. Cam Hayward doesn't have much time left, so they're probably going to look for a bolster to help their defensive line. Derek Harmon is a productive pass rusher, and he was that way for the Ducks. So,
yeah, it's a big need for them. I'd have to agree.
I mean, they got Russell Wilson, who could probably show out.
He might not come back though.
Oh, yeah.
But they might get Rodgers. So
That would be weird to see Rodgers in a Steelers uniform.
it would be. It would be.
Chargers, we have Jalen Walker, I think, will go to them. The Chargers lost Joey Bosa. They also got rid of Mack. They don't have much, Khalil Mack doesn't have much time. He's starting to age more. So I think Jalen Walker has great speed and athleticism on the edge.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Jalen Walker, with Joey Bosa leaving and with Khalil Mack, he's not getting any younger. Packers. I would definitely say receiver just because.
You're still pushing for the receiver.
I mean, we need one, man. Like, McCole Hardman is not it. He's not the answer.
He's not
sounds
great.
like
He's not really great.
It sounds like Christian Watson's going to miss a good chunk of the year, so that puts us with really, obviously, Jaden Reed, who's very versatile.
Yep.
Romeo Dobbs, who's our best route runner, probably the best hands on the team, and Dontavian Wicks.
Who should be released and got.
Who should be released. Drops way too many passes. And then
many easy passes.
McCole Hardman, who, could totally be behind the rest of these guys. He could maybe be on the depth chart over Wicks. But, yeah, I'm not thrilled about our receiving core, and we need to go out and get one. Scroll down a little bit, just a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, I just, with my Packers, I'm going to go with Luther Burton, wide receiver.
Out of Missouri.
Huh?
Out of Missouri?
Yeah.
He must have had a pretty good combine, so that's why he's probably there.
Yeah. We need a receiver, man, and I'm tired of, if we end up getting I
remember last year. Sorry, cut you off. We were sitting in Discord. I'm like, "Oh, you guys got a draft pick?" I said it's an offensive lineman. He's like, "Dude, I'm not up there yet." But what the fuck?
Wait, what?
When we're talking on Discord, I told you about the draft pick who the Packers got. And you were so mad.
Well, yeah, because what did we need last year?
Oh, I don't remember. I think receiver again. Our defense.
I think it was more defense.
I think so.
I don't think it was receiver. I liked the guys we had going into last year, but after this last year, we lack experience at receiver, and we need just a number one who can go up and get it, catch the ball when we need him to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's who I'm going with.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go with the same one.
Right on.
Number 24 is the Vikings. Harrison Smith, he's also getting older.
That's true.
They can use another safety, so I'm gonna go with Malachi Starks out of Georgia.
Same. I agree with that one.
Number 25, the Houston Texans. I think they need offensive line. So,
oh yeah.
Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. I think that's that ginger kid and missing teeth and everything.
I think so. Yeah. You're probably right.
Kind of a fan favorite.
Yeah, I could see him in a Texans uniform.
So for the next pick, it'll be the Rams. I'm gonna go with Jordan Birch out of Oregon.
I think that's a good one.
People be like, "Oh, whoa!" I think Devontae Adams still has a lot to show, so I don't think they need a receiver.
No.
He's only 32.
Devontae Adams still has a lot to show.
He's only 32.
And they also still have Puka Nakua. They still have Tyler Higbee. They still have a Tutu Atwell in the slot. And they've got a good running back in Kyron Williams.
Yes,
so
I always like Kyron
I don't think
Williams.
they need Devontae.
All right, next pick will be Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore. They don't need a receiver. I know they recently signed D-Hop.
Yeah.
Let's
be honest, a little bit. I think D-Hop's trying to catch a ring or chase a ring.
I mean, he was on Kansas City last year. But yeah, I don't know. Offensively, they really don't need really much help. I mean, you got Lamar, who was the best quarterback in the league last year, in my opinion, even though he didn't win MVP. I still think he had the best season statistically. Receiving wise, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Isaiah Likely at tight end, Mark Andrews. They got Derrick Henry at running back. Their O-line is great.
Unless Mark Andrews shits the bed again.
Well, that's the thing, is I feel like Likely is probably the better tight end now in that offense.
Yeah, I think Andrews is kind of getting older.
I think Likely is better now. But I think defense, especially on the edge, is where they're lacking the most. They were really struggled with stopping the pass last season and not being able to rush the passer.
Yeah.
So I would say D-end out of Tennessee.
James
Pierce Jr.
Yeah, he can also play defensive end and outside linebacker.
Yeah,
so
the edge rusher.
The edge
usually
rusher.
People just call that edge. DN/OLB.
I'll be honest, the Ravens couldn't stop a pass very much at all last year.
Their pass defense is struggled a lot last year.
Very subpar.
Yeah.
Loins. We need help on defense, corner, in the backfield. I mean, so secondary, but we really need help with defensive line. Sadly, I hate that we released Zadarius Smith. I think him and Aiden Hutchinson would have been a good 2-1 punch.
I was a little surprised when I saw that.
I feel like it was more saving cap space or something. Had to be.
Yeah, probably.
I think we pick up Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet. Put opposite Aiden Hutchinson and replace Zadarius Smith.
Yep. Number 29 is the Commanders. Kind of thinning out here. So, I think they're going to get another tight end. I mean, let's be honest here.
Zach Ertz is getting old.
He's getting old, but he has about 1 or 2 years remaining in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pick up the Michigan tight end, Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
So,
Give Jaden Daniels some, more weapons to work with, because
not only that, he's a good blocker on the line.
Well, just think about it. I mean, he's got Terry McLaurin. He's now got Debo. He's got 2 other running backs, B-Rob and Austin Eckler. Older experienced tight end in Zach Ertz. And, another tight end would just add to that.
Yeah. And then we got the Buffalo Bills. So Michelle Douglas is a free agent, and even if he resigns, the Bills will still need another cornerback. Maxwell Harrison, I agree. He has a plus size and has performed at a high level thrusts in school, so I think it'd be a good pick for the Bills. And now we're heading into the last 2. It's Kansas City and Philadelphia.
Philly.
I'm gonna be straight up honest. I'm thinking both offensive linemen for both of them.
Definitely for the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are replacing some people. I think last year or in the Super Bowl we saw that their offensive line was.
I was thinking either O-line or wide receiver for the Chiefs because they could use a wide receiver one.
Yeah.
But the way their line looked in that Super Bowl, definitely got to go with the line. For sure.
Now, Philly, I'm going to go with, Kansas City, I'm going to go with the offensive lineman out of Oregon, Josh Connerly.
Yeah.
And Philly, I'm going to go with Emory Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So.
Solid picks. I'm going to piggyback off those.
So, yeah. All right.
That's our first round, all 32 picks.
Thought we could catch up on that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
A lot of defense, a lot of offensive line. Not a lot of offensive skill going on in this year's draft in the first round. First two picks are quarterbacks, but after that, not another one taken in our prediction for the first round, which compared to last year's crazy. Last year there was 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Jesus.
One running back, I think a couple wide receivers maybe. But yeah, a lot of O-line, a lot of defense.
Yeah, this year's draft seems a little weird, a little bit. It reminds me of the draft when Jake he got drafted by the Jaguars. Jake Loxley. They drafted it was like kind of like the first time an offensive lineman was drafted in like number 1 or number 2. It was like the Jaguars.
Thinking of Jake Long?
Yeah.
That was the Dolphins.
Not Jake Long. No. I gotta look him up now.
I don't
know. Tackle in.
So I think that year Jake Long was drafted. There was only 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round that year. It was Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. 2008 draft.
It was Luke Joeckel.
Luke Joeckel, okay.
Joeckel out of Texas A&M, who used to be a quarterback at one point.
I remember that now.
Yes.
2013, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, Eric Fisher was the first overall pick that year.
For the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs. And yeah,
I think that was the last time
the only quarterback taken in the first round that year was E.J. Manuel out of Florida State.
And look how he
went to the Bills. Geno Smith was also in that draft, and he got drafted in the second round to the Jets.
So yeah, little history for you.
No, I agree. I think it's similar to that year's draft too. I think Tavon Austin was that year.
We'll have to take a look back at some of these draft classes or something.
Yeah, we should.
Anyway, that's today's episode 49. Next week it's gonna get hot and spicy. Sam, I'm ready to watch you die.
I'm not ready.
We were gonna do it tonight, but we recorded late, so that's all right.
It's okay.
We're getting an episode out, so
we will do it.
We like talking anything in sports.
We.
Anyway, don't forget to follow us on all social media. You know where to find us: Facebook, X, Twitter, formerly as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook.
Don't forget to follow.
Instagram.
Don't forget to follow us on all
YouTube.
Okay, we get it. Anyway, don't forget to follow all of Agent Life. Go ahead, Sam. Do it again.
Don't forget to follow Agent Life and all their wonderful podcasts. Touching Base, Talking Dirt, Useless Assumptions, TNT Boys. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
We're signing out. Good night.